Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, co-editor-in-chief of Retail Insider. Joining me today is Sylvain Charlebois, who is senior director of the AgriFood Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. Thanks for joining us again today, Sylvain.
My pleasure, Mario, and congratulations on that award, that Retail Insider award that you got as an expert.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Myself and publisher Craig Patterson
That's right.
were named top retail experts on that list by Rethink Retail just the
That's
other
right.
day. So, Van, let's talk about some kind of disturbing numbers you've thrown out in recent days about how many restaurants you expect to close this year. Tell me a little bit more about that. How many do you think that will be?
Yeah, so obviously we've been concerned about the restaurant business for sure in Canada, and most people will rely on the data that is released by Statistics Canada on the number of establishments. The problem with that, Mario, is that the federal industry will base its analysis on registered businesses. That's not what we look at. That's our starting point. We actually look at active, viable establishments, and so that number is lower than that, of course. And so we've been trying to understand exactly how that number is being impacted by several factors. So we triangulate that number with data that actually would measure the overall state of the economy, jobs, of course, the amount of money being spent in retail versus service as well. And we tried to actually establish long-term trends. And so in 2025, we actually believe that Canada lost net about 7,000 establishments. And in 2026, we're expecting another 4,000. We're expecting that number to drop to 4,000 again. And so we will see openings, obviously, but the number of closures will outpace openings by about 4,000.
Tell me the main reasons your restaurants are closing.
Well, so if you talk to an operator, that person will tell you that input costs are an incredible problem for sure.
Yeah.
You have labor issues also, difficult to recruit, and of course, changes to the foreign workers program are impacting the sector severely. Alcohol consumption is changing, and margins are so low in food service. You need income generators like alcohol to keep your business afloat. And so if people are showing up drinking less, well, and even more so, they're not going to be ordering that appetizers or that dessert. It becomes even more difficult to generate a profit as an operator. So that's why I think it's going to be extremely difficult for operators to make a profit and stay afloat.
So it just comes to mind here a conundrum that the industry has. Like during COVID, obviously we saw the proliferation of online orders. Like with Skip the Dishes, excuse me, DoorDash, etc. For delivery and then also for takeout. So you have more and more people doing that. Obviously, they're not in those restaurants. They're not buying, a glass of wine, a beer to go with those foods. So,
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about that and the effect that has?
Oh, absolutely. So, of course, as an establishment, if you don't own your location, your building, you're under even more pressure for sure. And so that's certainly that. But I have a soft spot for independents. I actually do think many independents will close because they don't have the same support as franchises, for example, that do have a tremendous support when it comes to procurement, marketing, for example, and things like that. So I mean, post-COVID, so we're 5 years out of COVID, soon 6 years,
Yeah.
and you can feel that now there's some exhaustion in the industry. Is the industry in a crisis? I don't think so. I actually do think that the industry is right sizing, to be honest, and the industry, the sector will eventually rebound. It's a resilient industry overall, and so I do expect better days ahead.
What's the impact beyond just the actual closure of a restaurant? What's the impact of the loss of independent restaurants on the greater economy, I guess?
Oh, it's a good question. I think it's important to recognize that when it comes to food innovation, independents make a great contribution. They're the ones that have brought amazing cuisines to Canada, allowing Canadians to travel without a passport. I mean, essentially. And so their contribution has been amazing over the years, and that innovation in food service has led to some changes in retail. And so there's an important food innovation synergy that exists between service and retail. And if you actually compromise one, you won't see as much on the other side. And so I'm not saying that we won't see any innovation, but obviously to get inspired, you won't be able to rely as much on food service over the next little while, unfortunately.
Last question for you. Yet, you did mention earlier, there's a lot of restaurants that open. Why do you think that happens? In an environment like this that and the challenges the restaurant industry faces, why do we see people continuing to open restaurants?
Well, I mean, if you point me to an entrepreneur, I point you a foolish person. I mean, when you're an entrepreneur, you're positive, you're optimist, you're optimistic, and yeah, you think you can actually make changes. You can make a dent in the universe, and that's great. I mean, you don't want that to disappear anytime soon. So you want people to take on risks. Taking risk is an important feature in our economy.
Okay. Thanks so much, Sylvain, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Okay, that was Sylvain Charlebois, Senior Director of the AgriFoods Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. I'm Mario Tonaguzzi, Chief of Retail Insights. Thanks for joining us today.